welcome to episode 3 of the Team USA 40K podcast. We are getting deeper and deeper into 11th edition with this one, and I am now being joined by Anthony Vanilla, my wonderful co-host and vice captain for Team USA, as we talk about how we are getting ready for 11th edition, which is basically here right now. It's basically here.
I mean, yeah, we have the overwhelming majority of things at this point. We just got the tournament at the time of recording. We just got the tournament and the team's companions. We got all of the faction packs this week. We are down to points and rules clarifications is the missing part of the puzzle, right, John?
Yeah, I think there's a couple more rules clarifications that I would just like objectively like to have right now that we don't have. But we have everything else. We have new detachments. We have the dispositions. We have all the cards. We basically are playing the edition. Like
Yeah, I
we
mean, you can
are.
see it from activity in the team alone. There's been 4 to 5 games every night since we've started to get faction packs and stuff with people just kind of guessing at points.
Yeah, it's been really nice to kind of have the team back together. I think I enjoyed having a short break or having a less busy period, and I think other people did too, or at least they pretended they did. But I missed it. I'm glad we're back. I missed hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, I mean, just having everybody. I mean, 40K is kind of like an all-encompassing hobby, right? It very quickly, at least at this level, right, becomes it's your social outreach, it's your like time with your homies, it's your actual primary hobby, even if it doesn't feel like a hobby sometimes. And the time when you take downtime is good to get your shit together a little bit as a human, but also kind of without your hobby, which sucks.
Yeah, and like getting your shit together, it's always a relative thing. Like
Right.
who really has their shit together all of the time?
Sure. Yeah.
And
Surely that's not a thing anyone does.
nah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really fun to watch everyone start to get back into the swing of things, seeing the reactions of people now that almost everyone on the team has played some games 11th edition. Since before is a lot of people were waiting, and now we don't have points cost, but most people have been willing to say like, I'll just play some 10th points games. We'll just solve that in a week or two, because we know
Yeah.
that the points are coming next week. Like we're already, we know it's time. We know it's now.
Right. Or we've just been playing you throw some stuff at the wall at like 1900 and see what sticks. And then if you have extra points to play with, fucking sweet.
Yeah, I'm not going to be bad about that later. If I have points later, I will spend them. I will
Right. Yeah,
find something to
100%.
do if I've got more points later.
I've never once finished writing a list and been like, oh man, I have more points at the end. Damn it. Except if I can't spend those points. And that's how you get the 1985, folks.
Ah, yes, a beautiful world leader list, I'm told. Um, yeah, so we're now at the point where we have to start assembling everything and like planning things out, because we now have all of the information. Like we now have everything. And so we had this really awkward period going into this where we just didn't have everything, and that kind of sucked for everyone. Um there's a little bit of an information imbalance that just kind of exists between teams, right? Which always makes things really difficult to process and approach as a unit.
Yeah. I mean, just like the basics of it, right? Because 40K is such a wide game with so much depth, right? It's both wide and deep. It is very, very, very challenging to deal with any part of the puzzle, as the title of the episode implies. If you're missing any of the pieces, you're missing everything basically. Like one small change could just be like, and your whole comp doesn't work the way you thought it did.
Yeah, heaven forbid, but yes, it really just could be like that. That's just is an option. It could happen,
Yep.
and it would be bad if it happened, but it could.
Well, I mean, even to use like a really recent example, right? The reveal today of like the teams pack that a defender is automatically a defender in the game is one of those lines of text that you kind of just like cruise past on first read, and then like the record scratch freeze frame from Ned's Declassified happens, and you're like, wait a minute, that said what again? Because that has huge in-game implications. That entirely changes so many things about how you have to think about the game, and that's just like this one little line of text in some team's packet.
Yeah, and like that's so easy to miss even if you're a content creator. I
Yeah.
didn't even get to read it. Like I saw that thing when it was up on Warcom. Someone tagged me. I'm like, oh boy, something I haven't read yet. I wonder what this does. And I got to read. I was like, oh
Oh no. Yeah.
my goodness,
Yeah.
this does a lot of things, which is really fun. But within the team, I think that it's been a little bit challenging up until this point, and I think this has been one of the big things where, objectively, I am a content creator, and so I get generous access from Games Workshop provided to me of rules an amount of time in advance, or more accurately, I have no idea what's coming, but the literal second that it goes live, I already have an edited battle report on my YouTube channel.
Right.
So obviously, I didn't have it in advance, obviously,
But you're
but
just really, really working those editors hard.
yeah, you just gotta freeze everything. It's the hyperbolic time chamber. It goes
Right.
pretty hard. But it's always awkward because it's like, oh wow, I really want to talk about this stuff, so I want to talk to people I can talk to, but
And
that's not everyone. So it's like, yeah, I want to talk about the new stuff, and therefore I'm not talking to these people because I can't talk to them,
yep.
and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, and each year the number of people that we can and can't talk to changes as there's different changes to the systems and stuff. Like, the level of access that you have is different to the level of access that I have, is different to the level of access that, any of the team starters, academy or otherwise has. And it creates this really like disjointed feeling in the team right before we're about to go into like the most intense preparation period. It's a little awkward to solve. This year my solution to that has been just like playing other games with folks. Like I had Sam come down for a weekend. We did play 40K for one of those days, but we also spent the entire rest of it just hanging out. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 with Zach and stuff like that. Just trying to find other ways to bond with folks so that we don't lose our team cohesion.
Yeah, that is kind of what you've got to do. Like, I mean, like what I've just been doing is, like I'm hanging out in the voice chat. I've tried to talk to people about what I can, which for
Yep.
me is very easy because I look at the release schedule. I'm like, ah, yes, video I recorded at some point in the past, and it comes out today. Therefore, I can now talk about Tyranid detachments.
Right.
I can now talk about what I think about priority assets, and so focus on what I can do. And other than that, I like just like I've been hanging out. I was playing a little bit of Slay the Spire
Yep.
with you and Sam at different points. And then once other people started to be able to play, I would just like immediately just like start to watch the games and just kind of like help where I could
Yep.
with like, oh, you may not have caught that yet, but like this is how it works. Based on like this thing that is actually out. There's
Yeah.
always a
I
little
mean,
bit of double checking myself,
There
which is always
there's
awkward.
been so much too I've noticed of, like, if obviously we're all really enthusiastic about the game, so you want to follow along with, like, the rumored changes as they kinda come in, right?
Hmm.
But one of the dangers of that is you're following rumored changes that may or may not be right. So in a bunch of the practice games I've been watching, I've had to do, like, little corrections where I'm like, "Hey, man, that doesn't work that way. That was from a Reddit post, not the rules pack we got yesterday," right? Or, like, an incorrect article that somewhere posted, like "Oh, this Chaos Lord can lead these Warp Talons," or whatever. It's like, dude, we literally looked at the faction pack yesterday. They cannot do that right now. Don't
Dude,
do that.
I got by that.
Yeah,
I got by that. I who have held, well, I have held the core rulebook in my hands. I have painted the Armageddon box to its completion. I
right.
thought that psychic weapons ignored wound mods. They just don't.
Yeah, that's just
Just
not a
like
thing that happens,
it
right?
just like it got mentioned in enough Reddit threads and voice chats that I was around that I'm like, and I haven't like really
Well, they said it.
processed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they slip of the tongued it in one of the GW videos, right? I think they were just like, talking fast. They're like, "Yeah, hit wound mods," and everyone was like, "And wound?"
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just not it. Just not what it does. And I like played a whole game with that after playing it correctly in other games. I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was that good. I'll start playing with this.
yep.
Shouldn't have done that. Whoops.
Yeah, mistake. I think people don't realize as well, like speaking of, reveals, is just how crazy that psychic change is. Because like off the top of your head, you're so used to, or at least I'm so used to like ignore hit mod stuff is obviously good, but it's never like, oh, you're never like, oh, it's so fucking game changing. But now there's so many minuses to hit that exist in the game that
Mhm.
every time you take one of those, it's like, yeah, a 4-up re-rolling is, 75% to hit. But man, have I had dice leave my hand enough times and not be 4-ups that I'm like, I don't want that to be what I have to do, you know?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Like now that I'm playing actual games with people and realizing what is like way more impactful.
Right.
Because yeah, psychic, ignore hit mods and ballistic skill mods critically is in fact way more impactful than it was before.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, Oh
Just a
boy.
debuff, no longer for the psychic keyword.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's been really fun kind of getting everyone back on the same page. I have very much missed that. Um and then I've really enjoyed just like getting to hear everyone's opinions because when you're locked in your room essentially of like, all right, I have an exciting thing that I'm working on for work, but I like my job, so I'm fortunate in that one.
Yep.
Uh but I can only talk to my coworkers about it. I can only talk to a very small group of people. And inevitably, there's just a little bit of bias. There's just a little bit of like, I don't think this is real because I don't like it. And then you
Or
finally get to talk to everyone else. And you're like, oh, when you explain that, I do see why that would be good. I
right.
didn't think about that. That never really came up. Oh, that is pretty nice though, right? There's a lot
Right.
of that always goes on.
Well, there's always the coin flip of that too, right? Like in years past, we've had this come up with like Knights and Guard Indirect and Bulgrin Guard and whatever. Um, where like you don't want to believe something's true, where you're just like, no, it's surely it's bad. But then you start like playing it and testing it, you're like, damn it, it's good. Fuck. And you're just trying to be like, all right, I have to acknowledge that now. That has to be something that I'm, including in my testing and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's a thing.
and we're starting to get through that where you like, you want to believe that the new edition solves all the problems of the old, or like maybe at least contorts them. You're like, oh no, that thing that was good before is still pretty good now. All right.
Yeah, like, there's always the chance at this point that, the repulsor executioner goes up, 40 points and I cut it. But like
Right.
broadly speaking, it was pretty good at the end of 10th. Let's get tapped to shoot terrain. Cover's different. I still have ways to ignore cover. It's probably still gonna be good.
Yeah, man. Like, same, it's the same kind of beat for like those big world eater units, right? Like, yeah, they all have to be within 9 of each other, but like +2 to charge reroll charges is pretty far from that one enhancement.
Yeah.
So maybe it gets hot. It's hard to tell. Obviously, early days stuff, but yeah, there are reasons to be excited for most factions, is how I would describe it.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty accurate statement. Oh boy. So yeah. Where do we want to start now? I mean, like the things that have stood out to me most is that like we've gotten all these new detachments, and that's prompted a because we thank goodness we got it at the same time as the detachment costs.
Yes, they give us the costs, the dispos, like, we're in there. We know basically like what armies can do. Oh, should we talk about the dispo restriction and how it impacts us as a unit?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a challenging one, I think.
Yeah. So, do you want to break down what it is, and then I'll go over like kind of the impact I think it'll have in fives, and then you can maybe talk some about eights.
Yeah, let's do it. So what this is we've got all the force dispositions. There are 5 ways to play Warhammer now, 5 primary missions, blah blah blah. Just in case you haven't caught up yet. And in now that we have the tournament companion, this was like the worst kept secret on the internet because there
Yep.
was a TO call, and in the TO call, I wasn't even in this call, just to be clear. But in the TO call, everyone's like, yeah, the theme of the TO call was here's what's changing. Please don't tell everyone. We just want to give you a heads up. And that hits Reddit, I don't know, usually about 3 minutes after the TO call ends.
Right. Sometimes
Um,
during.
Sometimes during. And and so it was a very like known secret in every Discord channel I've ever seen of yes, you are limited by dispositions. If you are playing a 5-player team event, there are 5 dispositions. Congratulations, you get one of each. That's it.
Yep.
And that means that now that we have this, that there's going to be some team events coming up soon, like ATC at the end of June, Heroes Cup. I'm going to be at Heroes Cup. It's going to be fun. I
Yep.
now can say without even knowing points, there will not be a single team comp at Heroes Cup that has both Coterie of the Conceited and Montka. They're both
Right.
Purge the Foe. You just can't take them both. When I play Coterie, or when I play EC, I play Coterie. And like I've got, like some people on my team like Tyler. When Tyler plays Tau, Tyler plays Montka. One of
Yeah.
us isn't doing that.
And I think for us, right, at like a Team USA level, right, to just jump straight to the top, we have so much like infrastructural privilege in this space, right?
Mhm.
We have people we can borrow from, we have experience swapping armies late, our players are flexible, our team is flexible, our access is flexible, right? Easy money, not a big deal. My concern for the space is what it does to gatekeep teams further for the average player, because I think you share this opinion that teams is broadly a better way to play 40K. Um, and it's now a little more challenging to get into in fives, I think. Just because like, fives is the like we all fit in one car, even if that's a little impractical type of way to play teams, right? It's the lowest barrier to entry. Um, but now asking five more casual players to be like, oh hey man, the way you normally play the game, even though we all play different factions, which is already a hurdle to get over, now you actually can't is a little tough, right? Um, and for certain armies, it's not a huge deal, right? A carnival list and a coterie list are about as different from two lists as you can get in EC, and they still have like I don't know, call it 1,700 points of overlap. It feels like half the time.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not too bad. But when you get into these like bigger ranges, like if one of your players is an orc pilot, right? And it's like, oh, sorry, man, you can't play Warhorde. We actually need you to play like Speed Cult. It's like, dude, that's a grand and a half of models that I just don't own. What do you mean?
Yeah, we can see it with some armies like Guard, where
Right.
you just use like, you don't you could theoretically change your Grizzled Company to Combined Arms, and that's gonna feel bad for the Guard player if I'm like, "Hey, I really wanna play Blade. Would you mind just playing a worse detachment?"
Right. Yeah, where there's objective downgrades within the space, right?
Yeah, but, like, what
Um,
else they're gonna do? They're gonna switch to Recon? If your Guard player is not a Recon player, they can't switch to Recon.
right.
You gotta already be a Recon player. It doesn't Yeah, doesn't really work.
Yeah, yeah, you
Uh
just have to be a like Recon's not a fly by night type of army, right?
Yeah, yeah, if someone's not a Recon Guard player, I can't in good conscience ask them to become one.
Just for their back pain alone, right?
I know, right? Like, plus I like to eat lunch with my friends. I don't wanna come back. I don't wanna have to, like, front them lunch every day because they have to pay into the lunch break, and then we're late for our dinner reservation because 'cause they're still playing Recon. Right, like, it's a whole mess. Who wants
Right.
that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a whole thing and, in an effort to avoid that. I think that's gonna be one of the early hurdles for that specific setup. I do think, however, to pass you the mic for a second, it is somewhat alleviated in eights because eights is a little bit of a higher barrier to entry in the first place. But if you want to talk about how it impacts us in eights, go for it.
Yeah, so in 8s, we have theoretically the same thing where we are forced to take each element of the team comp once. We have to take each disposition one time. It's just like probably easier to do because we
Right.
get to take one of each and then we get to double up three of them. And the ability to double up some means that you have flexibility. I could take Motka and Coterie. And sure, I can't take Motka and Coterie and I don't know what a Necron is. Is Star Shadow Purge the foe? I don't know.
Pantheon.
Berserker Warband. Berserker Warband. There you
Yeah.
go.
Well,
Yeah,
sad.
easy example. Now it's like I can't take Montcott and Berserker Warband and this other thing. Like I can't take everything, but at least I can get most of it, and I can choose between a couple of things, and that feels like that's reasonable.
Yeah. Again, particularly in the space where we're talking about a national team, totally achievable, right? Um, but amongst the homies, I
Mhm.
think in eights it's a lot simpler, right? You guys all sit down at the beginning, you kind of sketch it out, and you go, all right, one of you needs to play this thing. Sorry, I know none of us it's our first choice, but someone's got to be, purge and recon or whatever, right?
Yeah, so someone's got to do it. Like that feels fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that in eights it's gonna be pretty cool, and I think that in fives it's gonna sometimes feel a little bit bad when you have to tell someone like, "Yeah, I need you to play XYZ." Like, sorry, even if you don't want to, someone has to do this because it's occasionally gonna lead to, I think on like the larger teams, you know how there's always like the super teams where it's like, we have 15 people, we're gonna make, A, B, and C teams of our club.
Right.
It's gonna like you're gonna have to like move things around a little bit, honestly. Which is like kind of a little unfortunate, right? Like there's gonna be
Yeah.
like this element of like, yeah, well, I would just rather play my thing than not. I would just rather play Montka then have to learn a different thing. Therefore, I'm going to play Montka anyways. Sorry, I want to play Montka. So either you need to move or you can just put me on another team. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's awkward to solve, right? I think they could get a lot of goodwill out of the way by being like, I don't actually really know how to solve this. I'm gonna be honest, in a 5-man, like, because it really like teams shouldn't be incentivized to take 5 times, purge, right, or take and hold, or whatever the one that ends up being good when they roll the dice at GWHQ each balance patch.
Mhm.
Um, but I think landing in a space where like it's harder to form team comps does push a bit of like innovation in the space. I just, obviously as a mostly mono teams player at this point, um, I worry about access, right? That's something I'm trying to think about here is like, how do we get more people into teams, right? So,
Mhm. Yeah, that is always a really big question. And I worry just about anything that might make people more disenfranchised with games.
right. Yeah, 100%. But I do think on the whole, it is not a bad setup. I think it's just one that's going to take a little bit of time. And that's how I felt about a lot of the stuff with 11th. I've been pretty vocal on stat check. That like I do broadly, I have a lot of faith in a future state of 11th, which I didn't necessarily have for 10th when we first started playing it. Um, just because at the beginning of 10th was like spilling dev wounds and these crazy overwatches and all this other stuff, Wraith Knights, right? Um, but it feels like a lot of that stuff through 3 years of maturity, through a new game balance team, through all this stuff has kind of been chipped away at slowly but surely.
Oh, they're
Um,
getting to you.
they're getting there eventually. Um, but I'm hopeful that, we'll play WTC. I'll take a nice 6-month break and then I'll come back to a game that's, very healthy, right?
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm expecting it to go as well. Like, I don't think anyone ever expects the addition to land perfect,
No,
but
I mean, I think we could do to expect more from the billion-dollar company, but they are showing real improvement and a real commitment to improving in this space. So we do have to let them cook a little.
mhm. Yeah, I think that's fair and reasonable.
Yeah. They get 6 months before I flame them for real.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've been quite happy with what I've seen so far. Honestly, the biggest point of feedback that I've repeatedly seen is that everyone seems to just be having fun,
Right.
right? Like, which is just that, like, yes, we enjoy the game, and I'm like, oh well, it's weird that I didn't ask myself this earlier, but that does seem like a very good prerequisite of like how are we feeling so far? If everyone says, "Yep, I'm having fun," I'm like, oh, it's actually a pretty good place to start.
That's an important step one, dude, for any game, right?
Yeah.
People tend to lose the plot with that a little bit where they're like, this game's really well balanced, or this game's really nuanced, or this game has this, or this game has that. It's like, it's still a game though, right? Like rule one is like, is it fun? Again, for most people, right? We're psychopaths that are going way beyond the pale of what you should expect from a game. Uh see aforementioned flying to Europe a lot in
Hmm.
previous episodes.
Yeah, fair.
Um, but like, just for the average person interacting with 11th, I think that the way 11th is with hidden, if you were playing on GW boards already, is a big upgrade.
Yes. Yeah, I've found that it really is just like an easy, like, the hidden hasn't been like world changing, but it's just been useful. It's been fun. It's given me more things to do. It's been like a different puzzle to solve, which I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it really has just like everyone is fighting. I'm usually I early on it wasn't the case, but I've kind of gotten to a point of like now it's like, yeah, I am playing 5 turns of Warhammer pretty often. And that is new. Because like there's just been less tabling of people, I guess, right? There's been just been less like, oh, and now you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think a thing that really talented players would not love to admit is that their first couple game like first, dozen games probably of the new edition are gonna be on Bambi legs. Like you're gonna be a little like, oh, I did that wrong. It's so stupid, so avoidable. I'm losing units for nothing, right? Um, and as like deeply entrenched players, we're used to the experience of like, oh, I know what I'm doing, right? You're the slick gunslinger where you know everything about the ins and outs of the thing you're doing. Um, but I think for a lot of people, this like early stumbling period is challenging from like a mental and tilt perspective, right?
Yeah, it is really easy to just get like, "Oh, I've been doing it wrong." Like, even, like, you know, talking to some people as, like, we're playing our, like, no points, yes rules
Right.
games. It's like, "Oh, man, I can't believe if I'd done this differently." I'm like, "Hey, this is your 2nd game of having to do charges this way, like, that's okay. Let's just, like, look at it. Let's just, like, look at what we should have done and then just talk about that." And that's fine.
Yep.
And that's, like, really all you need.
Yeah, slowly and surely getting people to accept that takebacks are a natural part of the early practicing experience, you know?
Ah, yes. Always fun to try to convince people like, "Oh, really? It's okay. We can just have some takebacks right now."
Yeah, you didn't know that that was possible. Just move the thing. You're gonna lose that unit before it activates. What is this teaching you?
Nah, everyone on Team USA is too good to need takebacks.
That's right, dude. We're all perfect execution. I can't even get through the rest of the sentence because this is such a meme, and I don't even play that way at WTC. So
yeah. 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 But
it's
yeah,
just not
it's
worth it. The Warhammer is not. It is a cooperative game that has a scoreboard. If you play 40K too adversarially, man, it's rough.
yeah. Yeah, so like ugh, yeah, it's been fun getting through these early processes, but like we're still as Team USA not in the and now we're writing our hardcore lists yet. Like I'm not there yet. I don't think you're there yet. Like we're
No.
trying. We're definitely trying to get there. But like objectively, I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so easy to like. I think anyone that's like, I know what I'm playing at WTC at this point is trolling. Like, it's
Mhm.
there's so much little context that matters so much in like in a 8-man comp. The disruption, like the disposition thing alone, then there's all the little micro interactions. We're still finding out stuff like the defender thing. Like, there's so many things that the idea that like we got it solved at like this point, honestly, even a week, you know, weeks from now, I think is unlikely, right? We will almost certainly list sub will go live. Like, we'll be able to see other people's lists and we'll be like, oh, that is smart. Damn it, you know?
Oh, that happens every time. It will happen again.
Yep.
Every time. Yeah. I don't know. What I've kind of been looking at so far is just that it feels like the field is really wide open for a lot of armies right now. Where like
Yep.
there are strong armies, but the detachment and disposition thing that they've done has been a really interesting shakeup for now how I'm trying to solve it. Does that make sense?
Explain.
So I let's just use an easy army like Space Marines. I love me some Space Marines. I love me some Space Marines.
Mhm.
I usually just like for the last while, have just played Blade of Ultramar. I have reading comprehension. I can look at the Space Marine like detachment and be like, "Yep, found the best one."
Yep.
Like, "Yep, that's the one right there."
Blade remains God's gift to the Space Marine.
Yeah. And so like I don't have to like explore too much if that makes sense. And now it's like oh no, there's some stuff worth exploring.
Right.
Like now it's like is Blade better than Hammer of Averni? Yes. For John it is. He will
Sure.
love Hammer of Averni pop off, but it's definitely better for me. But I can totally see now it's like, oh, would I like this plus a 1 DP detachment? Is that better? I'm like, I don't know if that's better actually.
Right. I mean, all the speeder data sheet has been a real bastard to play against Marines for quite some time, and
Yeah.
then adding a new version of the speeder that is really good and a detachment to support them makes you look at other stuff, man.
Yeah, it really does. I've definitely been, I quite like my speeders, right? I don't think that's much of a secret.
Hmm.
I'm quite fond of my speeders. So like I'm just looking at this as like yeah, I can just have better speeders. What does it cost me? I just have to choose that I want the better speeders. Like,
Right.
Okay. Can't do that in Blade. Can do that anywhere else. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. Um, so like do I just do that instead? Do I just say, forget what I was normally going to do and just say, yeah, I want this? Like, it's like,
Right.
it's not hard to justify just like having the better thing and being like, yeah, I'll just have a different detachment so that I can play this thing and get
Especially if
a
it's easy to
new.
get access to, right? Like if it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I like these other things a little bit already. Let me give them a little extra shine," and maybe it's worth, especially in the context of all the disposition woes, being not Blade, right?
Yeah, just like being not Blade it's all like it's normally like a hard thing to sell, but now I am also getting to choose to be not priority assets. And you know what? I'm not like at a point where I'm like, I hate these dispositions, I love these ones. I think I like priority assets. I think it's good. But
Ye
if the team is realizing we have a lot of people who like priority assets, I'm like, all right, well, I don't love priority assets so much that I'm going to be viscerally upset if I have to play Take and Hold.
yeah,
I'll
you
be
don't find it to
okay.
be comp warping. Well, the other thing is with Marines, you have other detachments that, though worse, are not, like, bad, right? Whereas other
Yeah,
armies can't quite do that. Certain armies have, like, a much more restricted setup where they're like, "These are the only good units in my army. This is the only detachment that buffs them." Well,
yeah, no, that is a real thing for people, and I'm lucky that I don't have to deal with that as the Marine player. I love my Marine privilege, you know.
right.
Um, yeah, so I think like it's getting we're now like at a point where it's like if I want to test Marines, and Marines are admittedly probably the broadest army just due to sheer quantity of detachments when you combine the chapters in it. If I want to test every Space Marine that I could want to play, that is going to take me so long. I don't know if I can test only Space Marines and nothing else in time for WTC. Because
No shot.
honestly, I also tend to like my Emperor's Children. I like a couple of different armies. I am not just a Space Marine player. I also like Tyranids. I sometimes play Chaos Knights and Guard. I have played Custodes at WTC more than any other army.
I mean,
Like,
forget not that you still have to play games for work, dude. Like, it's not
oh
like,
yeah,
you don't clock out of Team USA and then you're like, "All right, no more 40K for the week."
yeah. No, I'm done now. Easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, not that simple. As a matter of fact. Um, so yeah, it's been very interesting to say like, oh my god, there's just so many more options than I'm used to.
right?
Just so many more. That's been a really interesting part of it. And I think that with everyone, that's going to be a thing where it's going to be really hard to get the depth of each faction because you're learning a new edition. You're also trying to learn how your faction works. If you are responsible for multiple factions, you now have to test a lot of things that you previously shoved aside because like it just didn't take me that many games to determine that Hammer of Averni was not as good as Blades. We're going to use the same example because obviously the French are listening to this and they're going to find out that I like Coterie the Conceited or something. But like as soon as I add Librarius, like ugh, now I have to evaluate, does Librarius and Hammer of Averni look better than this?
Yeah.
And like maybe kind of got to check.
I mean, you
I kind
definitely
of
have
got
to
to
go
check.
back in and look, and you do not wanna land, face first on a place where you're like, "All right, well, that
Mhm.
was good. Shit."
Oh yeah, nothing worse than like reading someone else's list on BCP and being like, "Wow, that's a that's a good list."
Yeah.
We've been there. It stings a little bit when it
It
happens.
hurts it hurts so much every time, and it can't not happen, right? That's the worst part.
Yeah, there's no way to avoid it. That just is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the adapting each army to 11th is going to take a lot. And I think I'm hoping that's where we as Team USA have a little bit of an advantage due to size of the team, where we are privileged to have a wonderfully relatively large group of good players that we get to draw from.
Yeah, I mean, our Discord has what's, like, in across Advisor, Academy, Extended, and Starters, it's 67 people in that Discord or something like that.
It's a pretty high amount now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Um but like we we get to have that, and so I've got people to help me figure out Space Marine. So, I'm hoping I get to do the thing where I'm like, all right, hey, does anyone have time to play games of like this thing that I don't normally play? I would play Ironstorm for Team USA. I would not say that I normally play Iron Storm. But if we look around and say, yeah, maybe Iron Storm's the best. I will take that into account and I will just play some Iron Storm. If
I
that's
mean,
what
at
I
the
gotta
point that
do,
we
it's what I
have,
gotta do.
the ninth 14-inch moving speeder in the list, we can't call it slow anymore, John.
I do like fast moving speeders. I really like fast moving speeders. Yeah, no, it's definitely not slow, but it's really nice now that I get to say like, ah, yes, person on my team, can you play some Iron Storm? Can we make sure that we've got what we need down?
Right.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping for is where we can leverage an advantage for Team USA is in that kind of a space
Yeah,
where
for
we've
sure.
got people testing more options than most people get to test.
Yeah, I mean, being able to just spread the testing out alone is quite helpful, right? And I think too with 11th, with a new edition in general, I think at least for me, I've kind of moved past the like, oh, why is it set up this way? We're properly into the like figuring out the puzzle. Like it doesn't matter if something's broken anymore. Like the time to be upset about that has passed. We are purely in the like, what is broken? How do we abuse it? Period of things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're getting there. We don't have the answers yet, but I'm excited to start to get them.
Right.
I do like it once we get to that acceptance stage. We're because we have like a what middle of June rules cutoff for WTC. I wouldn't be shocked if GW dropped like a quick hit FAQ. Like there's a lot of like messy things in 11th edition right now. For
Right.
example, the Chaos Knight Lancer still makes tank shock cost 0 CP. And you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if at some point we get a little patch of FAQs where they say every single time a unit references tank shock, you can use it on crushing
Crushing
impact.
impact. Yeah.
Like, let's just
Yeah.
move. Like we all know what the goal is here, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
Uh,
the first person to tell me I can't use it on crushing impact on the Lancer, I'm they're gonna get a pretty stinky eye. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, look, you just kick
Uh,
him out of the Discord, dude. That'll surely happen in practice if it's gonna happen at all before the event. You just ban him.
I just mean add an event. Could you imagine if I got to the event and someone was like, "Yeah, you can't do that."
Sorry, that doesn't say that.
Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah,
But no, I do think that like we're probably just like playing what we got.
sure.
Maybe they'll change that kind of stuff, but like we're probably just playing what we got. And so now it's yeah, let's just roll with it. And I love at least that teams mitigates it because if the repulsor executioner is broken, there won't be 24 of them.
That's
God
true.
forbid there's a broken data sheet that multiple armies can access, but that's unlikely.
No, what are the
That's why we
odds?
voted against 2 Space Marine armies as a collective group of captains.
That's
That's
also
gonna
why
be a
we
problem.
didn't play in May, dude. We voted against the stable meta because the new edition's gonna fix all our problems, John.
You know, with the benefit of hindsight, I don't think the May meta was actually that stable.
You know, I think with the benefit of hindsight, we could have figured it out. I think we had it pretty solved in April, if you ask
Uh,
me.
I do think we would have stabilized on 4 crab armies, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we would have pushed it to 4, honestly. I think we would have gone 4. Oh, crazy. But yeah, it's fun to be staring down the barrel of this. I'm looking at this as like, oh my god, I have to play a lot of games, which I'm going to. My wife is on a cruise this weekend, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah, now that you know, I've been with my wife for approaching 6 years, and so we now have clockwork, which is that you know, I always encourage her to take trips with the girls. That's a
Mhm.
it's a great healthy thing to do. We don't have to do every vacation together. God knows she doesn't come to every 40K tournament. She gets cruise with the girls, but the best time to do cruises with the girls is June and July.
Of course.
You know what? It's summer. It's a great time to be on a cruise ship, and also I with love for my wife in my heart, am gonna be busy.
Yeah,
I
I
will
mean,
find something to fill the time. I'll miss her, but the days will go by fast, you know?
for sure, dude. I mean, it's, we're the I think people don't quite get how much the testing is like timing consuming. Like these early like TTS games are not fast.
Oh my god, no.
um and with that is the like um if you're trying to play 3, 4 games in a day, it's
That's the day.
rough, dude. That's the day and some, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. I
so
definitely have faster tournament games than practice games usually.
yeah, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, it's just like it's like TTS is nice because it saves time on table setup, unless it's early edition when I have to make the gosh darn table. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's rough.
yeah.
Now that we have all the maps, we can do a cool like you can do like this like import thing basically using an image onto the table mat. You have to play with flat terrain and not, actual
Oh,
terrain, but you
that's
can play
cool.
with like an 11th map that is scale accurate, which is cool.
Yeah, it's actually kind of that actually honestly sounds kind of nice because I don't have to worry about clipping into the card containers and shit.
Yeah, exactly. You can just kind of move stuff around. I really liked it. I watched a little bit of someone playing on it before we got on this to do
Uh-huh.
this, and I was like, "Oh, damn, that rocks!" Actually,
Yeah, my current plan was to spend 1 day painting just like some stuff for work and just like talking list concepts with people because I figure if I give it 24 hours, someone is going to make most of the maps on TTS by then.
I imagine by Sunday they'll all be available.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I bet these are up soon. I've got a couple that are made. I'll just play one more game of Priority versus Take and Hold, and I'll
Sure.
just play the other side of it this time. And then by
Yes.
the time I'm playing new games, someone has made all the maps, and that'll be easier.
Yeah, that new LCT base map is great. I would encourage everyone to switch over to it if you have not already.
Yeah, LCT.
LCT.
Cool. Well, hopefully they've got the full maps up pretty soon, and then I'll be all excited about playing all the different things. I also just want to like click between the maps, honestly.
Yeah.
I really want to just like open it up, grab my army, set it to the side, and then click through the 15 different maps that I can play on with priority assets. Because I'm gonna be real, I haven't looked yet.
I mean, just a quick hit of like, where can I deploy on these is
Yeah,
is helpful, right?
it's really helpful, but it's not so helpful that I'm like willing to Microsoft Paint onto 15 different images.
Right. Yeah, I'm not doing all that.
Because like it's like this would be helpful, and if WTC was tomorrow, I would do it. WTC was tomorrow, and I don't have the things I would do it. But I'm like,
Yeah,
WTC is in August. I will have the tools by then. This part can wait. I'll focus on other things now.
of course. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're nearly there. Like we kind of been saying. Like we're at like, functionally the
Yeah.
1 yard line, right?
Yeah. At this point, I've transitioned to practice mode. 'Cause it's like, yeah, I can play games without the points. I can start talking about everything, all the rules openly. That's enough. That's enough that I can play real games with my friends and talk with my friends, and that, yeah, it'll be nice to have final points soon, but
Sure.
like close enough, honestly. I'm not
Yeah.
close enough. So yeah. Um what's the oh yeah, the last twist I think is the mission pack, right?
The
That's kind of a
mission
big one.
pack. Yeah.
The changes in the roles.
What do you mean the roles?
Like how like attacker defender work. How like if
Oh
you're
yeah. I mean, that was huge. That coming out today blew me away. I've been thinking about it basically since I found out. And every couple of minutes I'll find a new way to be like, oh my God, it's so impactful. Like
Yeah, so what this is another fun thing, and this is what I can work on now because it doesn't involve points, is
Yep.
that like pairing strategy for teams is gonna have to change.
I mean,
And
it's
it's
basically completely different, right?
yeah,
Like
and like we haven't been doing a lot of pairings prep for Team USA because like, pretty early on they announced like, yeah, dispositions have their own tables now. And so we were like, okay, so the tables aren't by rounds. We don't know what this looks like, but we know it's very different. Therefore, practicing pairings doesn't really help because like choosing tables might not work the same way. And
sure.
now we know. And honestly, could have been worse. I was really worried that they were gonna like, cause like I didn't know how this was gonna end up. I
Mhm.
was really worried that we were like gonna have to not use the 20 diff system or something. I know there's like a with terrain being assigned, there's kind of a push to do everything GW way
Right,
instead
right.
of having a WTC format, and so like the WTC format is probably going to be a lot more similar to GW format than it has been in the past. We'll see if it ends up identical or not, but it'll be more similar, not less than what it has
Right.
been in the past. And so it's just very much like oh, what is this going to be? And so now we know. Now we know that it's still a 20 diff system. Thank you, James Workshop. Really
Yes.
glad that they didn't mess with that too much. The attacker defender, and the scrum part still works the same. They gave them names, I am extreme. I
The
don't know.
names are fun.
The names are fun. It's like, what is it? It's like skirmish, main
It's like an
engagement,
initial
champion.
skirmish, main engagement, champion. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's mildly annoying because those are just different names than what I used.
Right.
But they're still cool names. So like, it's like, all right, I'm sure that we will adopt those soon enough. Oh, by the way, if you click on the Warhammer community article, because I decided to bring this up for the new 40K download the event companions, you can actually see Sam in the
Yes.
yeah. I didn't notice that until like just now. I was like, yeah, like I was looking up the names and I was like, hey, there's the
Yeah, you get
USA jersey. It's Sam.
long hair Sam, dude,
Long
tragically
hair. I
taken from
know.
us by his most recent haircut.
I know. Just a heartbreaker. So it's really it's gonna be really interesting now to see how that changes the dynamic because we don't have the answers yet. We're gonna go work on that starting like today. Um,
Right. Yeah, yeah, once we
but
hang up this call.
yeah, that's about what I'm gonna start on that. I'm gonna, right. I'm on my computer headphones. I'm gonna switch to my phone headphones, and then I'm gonna start like just be like, hey, pairings people, hop in Discord. Let's just like start reading this.
Yep.
But yeah, now that the defender doesn't have a limited set of tables to pick from, they pick the same one. Now it's like instead of I want my defender to be built for light terrain, it's like I want to build my defender for hammer and anvil or table quarters or dawn
Yeah.
of war. And then it's a okay, well, I want to build my defender for this, and it no longer matters when they go down, right? I don't need my Tau defender down first because he wants the best, aka worst table.
The evil
Yeah,
tables.
he wants the evil tables. Now it's like, yeah, the defender gets the same table no matter when he goes down. And so it's just who has the most armies that they're not scared of, who has
Right,
or the
right.
least armies they are scared of is probably the best way to phrase that. And
Yep.
so now that'll influence the order. So it's interesting because first, second, and third defender is impactful in different ways than before. So we're gonna have to redo our entire thought process on that.
Yep.
What we want a defender to do is gonna have to change. And now I need to go figure that out and talk to people before I tell the team. Because like I don't want to just be like, hey everyone, this has changed. Adapt the best way you see fit. And then someone's like, I built to only play on Dawn of War. Oh,
Yeah.
what are your bad matchups? Ah, most of them. Like, okay.
All of them on Dawn are bad?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, like I don't know. It's like I need to give people direction. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
I really wish that I had gotten like the pieces of the puzzle at different times, but instead, I'm just gonna kind of squint my eyes and blur through the next 2 months, and
Yep.
we're gonna, we're 2 months and a day from WTC, by the way. We're two
Oh,
months from WTC Eve.
oh,
Um,
oh.
I
I'll have
know.
been in Europe for, like, 5 days at that point,
Yeah,
dude.
2 months. I'm like realized like, ooh, I should go buy a plane ticket sometime soon.
Oh, bro, if you haven't done that yet, they are not cheap.
I know they're not cheap. That's the problem. That's why I want to wait for the next paycheck. But if I
I
wait for the next
know.
paycheck, they're not going to get cheaper.
Yeah, dude, it is,
Ugh.
I bought so Anna and I are going into this is a thing we should talk about, the stuff around WTC, right? So Anna and
Yeah.
I, with the young Sam Pope actually, are going
Yo.
into, Amsterdam first this year.
Nice.
Getting out there, leaving the Friday night, landing the Saturday, the week before the event.
Yeah.
But, like, that's added a non-zero amount of expense to the trip, right? Like, you gotta get
Yeah.
to Amsterdam. Thankfully, like, the price difference between flying into Amsterdam and out of Brussels was honestly not that far off from just, like, adding a bunch of fuckery to our journey, so it was that part was actually okay. Um, but,
Am- have you done Amsterdam already?
I went to Amsterdam when we went to Eurotrash for,
Oh, but that was just like we just like had Chinese food and that was it.
well, I was there a little bit early, remember? I got there, like,
Oh, okay.
earlier the day before or whatever than you guys did, and I hung out with Dino a bunch.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Shout out to Dino for showing me around, where I'm actually gonna have Dino exactly show me and Anna and Sam around when we get there.
Yep.
I had a really good time in Amsterdam. I think it's super nice. It's really pretty. It's easy to get around. They're one of the cool Euro cities where you buy one ticket for the public transportation, which rocks.
Oh, I know.
Um, I love
I
that
did
stuff
it.
so much.
Yeah, I did it 2 years ago WTC. So like right after that, actually, I did Amsterdam for 3 days with
Oh,
Michaela.
right, you went with Michaela, right? Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
do
that
remember
was the
that.
year where my flight got delayed by over 48 hours, so I had to take my pre-trip and turn it into a post-trip, and
Yes, I
then we
do
were
remember
worried that
that.
I wasn't gonna get there in time. Yeah.
Prevaricate for a second. I'm gonna let Anna back in. Be right back.
Yup. Yeah, I thought Amsterdam was super fun. But, yeah, there is I think we'll have to do this as a future episode. We'll have to do a, like, the arounds of WTC because the reality is that everyone who goes from the USA to, continental Europe, we usually do it for some extra time, and so there is a lot of, like, extra stuff
Right.
around WTC that turns WTC into, like, a week and a half of just like extra stuff and fun. Bring the
Yeah,
partner,
it's like 10
meet up
days,
with the
right?
friends. Yeah, it's usually like a 10-day thing. I think I blocked up the hotel room because we had to put our initial like hotel room
Yep.
estimate in. I think I blocked it in for like 8 or 9 nights.
It's just like Monday to Monday, right? Like it's like, you could do it differently, I suppose, but like you end up adding a bunch of stress and now you have to worry about jet lag and all this other stuff. It's just like WTC is a 10-day experience. Just let it be what it is.
Hmm. Yeah, it's I think that with the I've tried to like try to travel out Sunday night, and it has at no point ever been what I wanted to do.
No, leaving the
And
Sunday is brutal, dude.
yeah, I can't do that. So I do Monday travel now exclusively
Yep.
for WGC. Maybe for a USA event I'll change my mind. But
Yeah, we can that's a little different, right? You're not getting just the travel's so long, right? And I love planes, so it's not a huge deal for me, but it's far, man. You're up there for a long time. The time zone shit gets weird when you're going back and forth. Like, yeah, it's tough. Definitely better to have the days budgeted for it to make it less miserable, right?
yeah, right. Minimal misery. That's the goal of Euro travel because we need to like actually be healthy and happy while we're there and not stressed.
Yes,
Like
we have to
honestly,
be
it's almost
functional,
worth
right?
not having to like on the same day as potentially the finals, like stressing about packing my stuff and like it's almost worth it just for that alone to not have to clear the hotel room before I do that. Let alone the fact that, frankly, after the 7 rounds of WTC are up, I usually try to cram in an hour nap before dinner.
Yeah, I mean, when WTC ends, the like emotional outlay of it all is it's nice to be able to be like, okay, it's
Mhm.
over.
Yeah. Take the coldest shower of the year.
Yeah,
Like
real adrenaline dump hours.
yeah.
But it's good. Like again, like those first couple days, right, where it's like, oh, we're like, especially with Mechlin, right? Mechlin is, it gets a lot of like rose-colored glasses points with me because that was like our first one, right?
Mhm.
Um, but going back to there is very like, oh, like you have those couple of days where we kind of like, we're a huge portion, we're the lion's share of the town's population, it feels like.
It does,
Um,
yeah.
and, we're just like people are everywhere, you're out and about and doing things. Some of this is the charm of a walkable city to a simple American. But, all our friends are there. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, my first time in Mechlin is funny because like, I had no idea of what the scale of Mechlin was.
Right,
And
right,
so, like, the first night, like, I'm sitting down, I haven't found anyone yet, and then, like, I get just, like, ambushed by 3 German people I've never met.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the time, your like international circle was much smaller, right? It was before, especially as Team America, we had really like set up any degree of like partnership or integration in the community, really, especially in our first year. Um, I had a little bit more just because of like an online presence type beat. But in general, I would say that it's obviously massively changed. Some of the people from Europe are some of my closest friends now, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and it has been nice getting over there and, like, getting to know people because it's made the travel a lot easier, right? Like, my first Mechlin trip, I just, like, spent some time in Belgium adjusting to the time. It was my first time in Europe, I didn't know anyone in advance, and so I just, like, had to go do what I could do, and I didn't really do much. I was just kinda in Mechlin vibing for 4 days.
Right. Just guessing. What's
Yep.
going on? Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, like, got to Mechelen, realized that my phone didn't work. I thought I had set it up to work, did not do so successfully. Welp, I'm here and my phone doesn't work.
Can't fix
Uh,
it now.
yep.
Unlucky.
Yeah. Logged into Discord on Michaela's phone, checked it
Yep.
once per day. Alright.
All right, that'll do, I guess.
We've come a long way since then.
Yep.
Alright, that's kinda what I got, right? We're past the awkward time of I can't talk to everyone. I'm
Yep.
glad that the team is coming back together. We're starting to swing of things. I would say we're at like 80% speed now. It'll probably go to 100 once points are out because that's
Yeah, I
like
assume sometime in the next week or two that we'll have,
yeah, but we already
actual
have
point
everyone
access.
back and active.
Yep.
And then there's a lot to be active about because there's a lot of things that we have to work on now. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, we.
Woohoo! Yeah, we ha. All right. I think that's where that's gonna take us for now. So we'll be back soon, even. I've got a team event in 2 weeks. Yeah, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'm flying to a team event.
Oh
That's
my
fun.
god, Heroes Cup is in 2 weeks,
Heroes
dude?
Cup is in 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, we are. Oh, points aren't even live, and this thing's in 2 weeks,
Oh
dude.
god, dude, I'm so happy I didn't sign up for that. I'd be so stressed right now.
Dude, I mean, this one is just gonna be a seat of the pants, and I have
Yeah, yeah,
made my peace to. I look. I If I could do more, I would, and I would be stressed. And will I be stressed as soon as points come out and I have to like work with my team on whatever I'm staking? Because right now no one knows what they're taking. Yep. I at Heroes Cup, I am going to take Space Marines of the last disposition left open.
that makes sense. Like, you'll
That's what
just
I
let the
told
other
them.
4 people pick, and you'll be like, "Ah, I'll figure it out."
Yeah. I like that's just what I'm gonna do. I could play some EC if they are really nice and leave me purge the foe. I'm kind of assuming they won't.
Sure.
So I've made my peace that it'll probably be like a Space Marine. But like Space Marines, I could take all 5 dispositions on Space Marines. So I'm just kind of like playing Space Marine games because I need to understand Space Marines a little bit better before I can either say yes, I am playing them or no, I'm not playing them WC.
Of course.
So I'm just like playing a bunch of everything. I've played 4 of the 5 dispositions with my Space Marine so far. Um, and I'm just gonna like let my team lock their stuff in, and then whatever's left, just gonna open a document, find the disposition and what attachment goes with it, pick and run. That's all I'm gonna do.
Yep. Just
I'm
doing
not.
your best.
Yeah, like I don't know what else I could possibly do.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, good times. So
What
yeah,
can man
that's
do against such reckless change?
I just you know what? Sometimes you just gotta put on your seatbelt.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, just put on your seatbelt and go with it. All right, so that's for us this week. Of course, if you enjoy listening to our mad ramblings, if you enjoy kind of hearing a little bit about what we're doing at Team USA, please let us know. We've got the podcast now is up on Apple Music and Spotify and YouTube. If you haven't watched us on YouTube, we are also up on YouTube because I know some people mentioned that they wished that it was on YouTube because that's easier to listen to ad for certain people. So you can subscribe to YouTube channel, all that. All of that is free, no ads on any of it. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is Patreon. We have a Patreon for Team USA, and you'll get, podcast episodes are just up either way right now, but it's just a good way to show support for Team USA and to help us out as we get ready to go to Europe for a big old summer and what we expect to be an extra special crazy one. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting, and we'll catch you all next time. Thanks for being with me, Anthony.
Of course. Have a good one, guys.